Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are really starting on time. I love it. I love it. I am sure that you all had a chance to read the screen a little bit, but getting in the comments counts here. So we want your input. We want you to feel like you're part of the conversation. We do have some prizes. So, sometimes I can find the camera, sometimes I don't. But we have some swag, some MonDak wellness t-shirts. We have got calendars, and the calendars, perfect time of year for a little desk calendar, right? They are the MonDak, and then they've got the replay pass. Where's my camera? Right here, the QR code. Oh, right here. It's all backwards. The QR code is going to take you to the replay. So tried to make that easy for everybody to find. Each month it highlights one of the MonDak presenters. So calendars, and then we've got some fun notebooks. The notebooks are just got the MonDak swag. They've got everybody's logo. That's on the back of the t-shirts as well. And again, making it easy for you to take some notes when you're watching the replay. The replay access is also on this notebook. And then we've got other things that the presenters themselves are kicking in. So best case scenario is you're local and you can stop at Awaken Wellness and pick up your prize. If not, I am willing to mail some of the not breakable items to you, and some of it will be email because some of it will just be special offers. So if you win, hold tight. Give me till the weekend to put everything together, and I'll get an email out of what your options are, the offers from everybody else, and then we'll communicate on whether you're going to come pick this up or I'm going to mail it to you. All right, so let's get going. This summit isn't about information. It isn't about overload or perfection. It's about reconnection. It's about connecting your body, your intuition, your personal responsibility for your own health and wellness. You don't need to take in everything this week. That's what the replay's for. You don't need to agree with everything you hear. You just need to stay open, stay curious, and let tonight meet you exactly where you're at. Let's see, I just goofed myself up. Hold on. To start out the night, we have got a young lady who is representing herself and her family. Her name is Ahshley. She owns and operates with her husband and her family Diamond E Ranch. She is going to invite the community back into relationship with the land through regenerative ranching, nourishing food, and a deep respect for how to care for animals, soil, and families. Through her work with yak meat and fiber, she reminds us that real nutrient-dense food isn't a trend, it is a return. Her passion for pasture-raised, grass-fed nourishment shows a personal sense for wellness, for local resilience, and staying deeply connected with the land. Ahshley's story, her stewardship of the land, and her heart for education are going to inspire you to make intentional food choices that strengthen your body, strengthen your family, and ultimately strengthen your community. Welcome to the stage, Ahshley. Now,
Thank you.
Ahshley, can you tell I purposely did not try to pronounce your last name? I'm going to let you do that.
My name is Ahshley Echevarria. I'm from Alexander, North Dakota.
That is why I did not try.
Really not that hard, I promise.
Oh, well, I'm so hooked on phonics. I was even asking ChatGPT to like sound it out for me, and I'm like, no, I'm just gonna let her.
No worries, no worries.
All right, so take it away for us, Ahshley.
Hi, my name is Ahshley. Tanya, I want to say thank you for inviting me. I think this is a great movement. I love this. All the presenters, I was able to catch a few yesterday. We were out skating and doing some kids activities, but I was still able to listen to a lot of the presenters, and there's so much good information. And I just think this is a great opportunity that you gave to our community, and even bigger than our community, the whole, yeah, I just love it. So I think I am ready for our presentation. My presentation here, we are going to talk about yaks. So I have here why yak, the benefits of a multi-purpose animal with Diamond E Ranch in Alexander, North Dakota. If you don't know where Alexander is, it is south of Williston, and we are located, a perfect location right between in Alexander. We're close to Sydney, close to Watford, just a really good spot here. Okay. This is me and my family. We are the faces behind the social media, the faces behind the tractor, the faces behind the fencing, the faces behind the feeding, the bottle babies, everything. Diamond E consists of my husband, Cody, my son, Lincoln, and daughter, Linder, and we are happy that everybody is here and watching. Then I want to talk a little bit about the yaks. We have a variety of yaks, different colors. Each ones have a different characteristics. They all have horns, males and females, and they all weigh around 600 to over 1,000 pounds. What makes them super special is they are very multi-purpose animals. They are great for packing, fiber, and the showstopper that we like is their meat. Okay, they are grazers. They eat about a third of what a cow does. While grazing, they're super great for the land because they really like to spread out and reduce overgrazing. They're great animals for rotational grazing. They're really good for our soil and when it comes to restoring the soil health and for regrowth. Okay, they consume less, like I said, less than a cow. They have a lighter body weight, and our yaks are also grass-fed. So I have a cool little video here, just kind of showcases the meat. It is naturally lean. It's high in protein, low in cholesterol, deep in red color. That deep in red color comes from the larger lungs, and I will touch base a little bit more about that throughout the slides. They are grass-fed, which results in lower saturated fats, higher omega-3s, rich in protein, iron, zinc, and vitamin B. They are just a solid choice for muscle maintenance and energy, which is what a lot of people are looking for nowadays with higher protein diets and things like that. This is, I'm going to talk a little bit about, we're going to compare turkey and yak and bison, pork, and buffalo. This was a study done by Oregon State University. If anybody wants the official study, I am happy to email that out. They did a study with all these different varieties of animals and showcasing their fat, their cholesterol, and their iron, all the kinds of fun things that we're all interested in about. I've kind of broke it down and we're just showcasing 3 different things here. So this is the fat content here. You can see where the yak comes in at 2 for fat content, where your turkey is 1. And down at the bottom, you're going to see your beef at 9. Now I'm going to show the protein. Protein is really similar. It's all great meats. It all comes in really close together here. The turkey is 26 grams. Your bison, 25, and your yaks also at 25. This is really where it kind of catches me here, the cholesterol, which is going to appeal to anyone watching your heart health. And the yak really stands out here, I feel like. So your yak is lower in cholesterol than beef, pork, and bison, and it's similar to turkey. So that's for anybody who's on cholesterol meds or anybody who's been advised not to hit up the red meats. This is really going to help you get in your red meats and help with your lower cholesterol levels. And then here I've just, for the more visual person, I've added in all of those 3 things we just looked at and kind of broke it down by color so you can get a better visual of everything compared, all those 3 things. So yeah, your yak meat is going to deliver a higher quality protein, very comparable to beef and bison, with a significant less fat and lower cholesterol. Going to be a great heart healthy option. And fiber. So I didn't touch base, but the yaks are super multi-purpose animals. So we can use them for their meat and their fiber. Their fiber is brushed out in the spring, super soft, naturally soft. It's less likely to cause allergies. And in the spring, we comb them down, we save all that down fiber, and then we can take it to the processor, who will therefore spin it, get it into that fun ball of yarn for any crocheting, knitting, anything like that. It's going to be warmer than wool and softer than cashmere, which I just think is so awesome that there's so many different things that these animals are used for. This is a fun little video. These are my kids. Lincoln's leading Linder here. This is our yak named Indy. It's kind of a fun video. We don't do a lot of packing. We have goals set. We want to do some more packing with our animals, but they are great for packing. They can pack up to 200 to 300 pounds. They're efficient on oxygen, and they've been used for packing for thousands of years, especially in the Himalayan mountains where they originated. The yaks have a larger lung capacity. So in those areas, the Himalayan mountains, Mount Everest, things like that, they're used to pack supplies, to pack in and out, all kinds of fun things. Alexander altitude is 2,172. The Himalayan altitude is 9,000 to 16,000. So they're just awesome animals. I can't brag enough about how cool these animals are. Milk. Again, the animals in the Himalayas where they originated, they were the family cow, like the family milk cow. They provided so much for every family, whether it was for meat, milk, fiber. The milk is very, very rich and creamy. It's high in fat and protein. It's used for a lot of butters, teas, yogurts. It's easy to digest, and another great way the amazing animal can provide. So like I said, we at Diamond E Ranch, we raise our yaks primarily for the meat. It is very lean yet juicy. Great for tacos, burgers, roasts, your normal cooking styles. The steaks don't need a lot of spices. You can get away with just lightly seasoning them, and it's best cooked to medium rare or medium. The showstopper is high in iron, high in zinc, and it's lean yet juicy. So here, I think we had a tri-tip that we actually were cooking. Oops. And it's just amazing. This is one of our customers that we've had. She actually was introduced to yak, I think in Washington, where Washington, Oregon, yak's a little bit bigger. Colorado, I feel like we're just kind of jumping on the bandwagon, which is fine. We're happy with that. We're happy to introduce it and educate everybody about yak. She was super excited when we showed up at the farmer's market, and she didn't know that we had yaks. And we get that a lot in our area. Yaks, what are yaks? How do we cook it? And I get excited to talk about it, but she was super excited. She sent me this video, this picture, which I love to get pictures and videos on social media about people and their cooking journey. Her name was Charlie, and she introduced yak to the family, and they loved it just as much as me. And we do a lot of social media, and I love it when I get tagged by different customers and when they're barbecuing, and we all have yak sticks, and they love the yak sticks. They're always great for different things. But the yaks, they're more than just meat. It is the meat, the fiber, the stewardship. When we raise our yaks, we're not just stewarding the land. We're honoring a heritage and feeding families. And this is really important to me, a lifestyle. To raise healthy animals, nourish our community, and inspire others to rethink what wellness and agriculture can look like. I am very passionate about this. I was born and raised on a farming, ranching community, and we farmed and ranched. And there's just something you learn as a child, being raised rural, raised on a farm, raised on a ranch. The life lessons you learn are something as a child you don't really get, but when you're an adult, it all makes sense. So I was super excited to get the axe and to teach our kids all those valuable lessons that I learned as a child. We have had a great opportunity of reaching out to different homeschool groups, 4-H clubs, different just families that want to try yak and come see the yaks. And I love to educate. This last year we had the Rebel homeschool group, which was a group of like 80 people, which kids and adults. And I did not realize that the homeschool group in our area was that big. And they came out, we had a blast. We went for our tractor ride. We went and fed all the yaks. There's quite a few of them that will come up for treats. If you don't follow me on social media, I encourage you to do that because they are very different animals. They're not like a beef cow. They are very social. They're happy. They have very different personalities, each and every one of them. And we had this homeschool group out. We talked all things yak. It was fun. We talked about the fiber. They were able to feel the fiber. We talked about their meat. We went for a tractor ride. And that's one thing that I'm very passionate about is educating the young kids about agriculture, where our food comes from. I feel like there's nothing more important than sitting down and realizing where your food came from. And you raise those potatoes, where your food come from. It's just an accomplishment to know those things. And I enjoy that we're teaching our children. Our county is very good about, they do a egg in the classroom, which I love because it talks about all the different things in North Dakota. And I just think that's great to educate our kids. I've also had great opportunities from different photographers that have reached out to take pictures because they are really fun animals and they are fun to take pictures of. Crystal reached out. She lives in Watford City. She got up. We met at the ranch at 6:00 in the morning and we caught those sunrise pictures and it was just fun. It was really special. And I was so glad that she reached out to me to see those. I feel like I'm just kind of whizzing right through this here, but I just want everyone to know that to stop and support your local ranchers. Go visit your farmers markets. Go make those connections. Know where your food comes from. I feel like the grass is always greener where you water it, and what we feed our bodies and our land matters. And this yak meat has awesome health benefits, and I just want the whole community to come together and realize that there's a lot of different options out there. And if it just takes a conversation. And the farmers market, we do go to the farmers markets. You'll find me and my mom. She's always around to help. And my daughter and my kids. And my husband's there loading up the freezer. And we go to the Williston Farmers Market and the Watford Farmers Market. I kind of want to branch out to a few more, but we'll see how that goes in the spring. My Instagram tag is there. I'm also on Facebook. And you can always reach me, my cell phone, email, or just reach out and stop by. And that's all I have for a slide. Tanya? Oh, I can't hear you.
Yeah. All right. Questions, guys. That was so good, Ahshley. I just love her graphics and those cute yaks. My daughter-in-law, she's in the comments, she's already got the funny farm going and she's like, oh no, this probably means I need a yak.
I love it.
I love it too. I think that was super interesting what you said about them needing less grass than beef. Say that again.
They eat about a third of what a cow does.
Wow. So when you size them out before butcher, what's their pre-butcher weight?
We try to get them hanging weight. We want to average about 400 pounds. It's a learning curve. Like I said, I was raised with beef, and they have like a long hair, long skirt, and it's deceiving. Like, we just took two in right before Christmas, and I was like, this is gonna be good. And they were still a little bit lighter than I was expecting, but they were still a good average weight that we were going for. But it is hard with all that, and even like during calving, it's been a learning experience. But we've been up to the challenge.
So
but
you
all
have
the
your
hair,
own
you
bull.
can't.
You have your own bull. You have your own bull, or do you AI?
No, we have our own bull.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So what age do you like them to be at when you butcher?
2.5 to 3, which is it compared to beef. That's a lot longer that you're going to have hangover waiting for them to get to that optimal size. But when they're born, they're only about 25 pounds. They are
oh my goodness,
super tiny.
They are as cute as they look.
Yeah, they're super small.
Yeah, and we'll really like grass-fed. We've been trying to kind of move that direction a little bit more, and then they're older. You do have to keep them longer. So yeah, that's awesome.
I feel like with the yak, and like you're getting the grass-fed benefits already, which is lower saturated fats, all that fun stuff. And then so the yaks are already, they're being grass-fed, and then they're also double taking on all those benefits, because the yak meat itself is lower in saturated fats, higher in protein, higher in vitamin B and zinc, and then you're double dosing when you use the grass-fed option also, which is
that is awesome. And something that we can partner on in the future is to make Awaken Wellness a drop-off point for you. For awesome. Freezer space, I just have a normal kitchen freezer, but there isn't much in it. So I'm sure, like, if you are making trips to Sydney and delivering, I have no doubt you're going to get some customers off of this presentation. So just let me know if I can help out, if Awaken Wellness can be a connection point for you. Go ahead and browse those comments. Jen says, how... She must mean, I'll put it up. She must mean many. Head do you run?
We have about 65 breeding cows that we have. And then we also, with the yaks, it's a little bit different. We can't go to the sale barn in Sydney and expect to sell our calves and stuff like that. So we do have our calves that we've hung on to that we're feeding up to process. So every year that we grow, we'll have more and more numbers to supply for the community.
I think Jen is asking how much you gonna charge her for a baby yak, I think is what she's asking.
We can chat.
Yeah, I think that's where she's getting with that. Yep, I think so. Let's see, what else? Are you looking at the comments? Can you see them?
I only see a couple comments on my end.
Yeah, Jen, this is Jen.
I don't see Jen's comment.
I just put it on the screen. Do you see that one? Maybe it doesn't work like that on your end. So she just laughed. She says, yep, the sale barn. She says, I was like that. The sale barn is accommodating this because I need to know. Yeah, and then you have more people saying, how does it compare to beef? So Ahshley, that's been a while ago, she brought me a sample, and it is delicious. You wouldn't know.
No.
I guess my taste buds aren't that sensitive. I wouldn't have known one way or the other. It was really fall apart. I think you brought me a roast, and it just fell apart. It was delicious.
Yes, it's super lean. It's lean yet juicy. We have done taste tests in our family. Like, I have our yaks in 1 pound packages, and we've gotten to that point where 1 pound package just isn't quite enough to cut for the whole family. So we like to get to, a pound of grass-fed beef and a pound of yak out. And then we have taste tests to see who knows what they're eating and stuff like that. And it is super simple. We have cooked for people, super similar. We have cooked for people, and I didn't tell them it was yak, and we got done, and they were like, oh, I thought it was beef. And I'm like, right? Yeah, it's very similar. It's lean yet juicy, which is really, I'm not real familiar with buffalo, but the little bit of buffalo I have had, I felt like it was really dry, and you're not gonna, maybe it was the buffalo I ate. I don't know, but I felt like it was very dry, where the yak, if cooked properly, it's going to be lean yet juicy. And a lot of that has to do with their larger lung capacity, which I touched base a little bit on in the slideshow. But they have larger lungs, which is going to help them when where they originated in the Himalayas for those higher altitudes. So they're pumping more oxygenated blood through their muscle, which returns into a more juicy meat.
Yeah. So like that in your video, you had that little picture where you guys were packing. Was that a full grown one? So like in my mind, how big are these guys? Like Shetland pony size?
No, they're bigger. They're bigger than a Shetland pony, but that was actually our first bum calf that we raised. So I feel like she'll always have like a special spot in our heart.
Okay. She doesn't make it to the table.
Yeah, she was at the barn for probably longer than she should have been, but we have a lot of fun videos. And her name is Indy. She was born on July 4th, and she would have been just over. She was a year so she wasn't quite a year in that video, but
okay.
The females range about 600 pounds, but all that hair, like, it's just deceiving, and they're a little bit smaller than a cow, I would say, but not like super tiny, like Shetland versus full-size horse, like comparison. But yeah.
Yeah. So are you going to take up any crafts or get your kids going with the hair or anything like that?
We would like to, and it's like going to the farmer's market. I've been able to connect with so many people that have different interests. Like, I didn't know that there's a fiber degree that you can get. And there was a lady that was super excited. She has a degree in fiber and different textiles, and she was super excited about it. And then different people that do their own spinning, which I am not a knitter or crocheter, but I'm trying to learn. Maybe someday. But
winters, we might as well.
I know, right? So that is one thing that this year we're trying to dig deeper into the fiber aspect of the animal and try and offer, get our own fiber spun and something that we can offer down the road. It's it's just cool.
They're just like talking to your local 4-H clubs, like maybe that's some kind of project that there's somebody out there looking for. I think that sounds super creative. You could have a ball with that.
Yeah. There's a lot of like I said, they're just very multi-purpose animals, and the different avenues and different opportunities with the animals are just we're really showcasing
goofy shaved. I bet they look goofy shaved.
You don't shave them, you brush them.
You brush them. Oh, so you're just like finally pulling it out.
Yep, that down in the spring, just like when you're like brushing horses and they're getting rid of all that winter hair. In the spring, you just brush out the finer. It's kind of like a fuzzy down, and then they have the long skirt. So you're getting that down underneath the long skirt.
That would keep your kids out of trouble.
Right?
That would keep your kids busy.
All summer, we are combing.
Yes. Oh, this was really fun. I really enjoyed your presentation. How about everybody in the comments? Give her some love. And is there anything else? Going once, going twice, everybody in the comments.
I can't see the comment.
And I wonder why. I can throw them up here.
Here. Okay, I was under the wrong tab.
You found them? Okay.
Yep.
I'll let you kind of you just quick browse through them. No hurry. We're going to be a little bit ahead of schedule. So you look while I talk. I'm going to do our drawing, everybody. So everybody, you got like 1 second to get another comment in. Every comment you do puts you in the drawing. So I'll draw while she's scrolling through those comments.
I see a lot of different things about 4-H and different crafts here. I have somebody that did ask, what made you draw the first thing to get your first jack? It was not on our bucket list. We did not. It was one of those things that God just it was presented to us, and we did a little bit of homework, and then we rolled with it pretty quick. They are something I did not know was even available to our area like that. And we're super excited about them now. We are hooked on yaks and we won't be going back. Yakety yak. They were something I didn't know I needed in my life, but we're pretty excited about them now.
That is
And
cool. Do they
yeah,
cross with anything? Do you crossbreed them at all?
we have never, but they have in the United States. It's kind of like if they're not fertile, if you cross them, like kind of like a donkey
Oh,
mule,
sure, like a
like that.
mule or something.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
I can see that. I can see that. All right, this was so cool. The winner was Linda Moore. Linda Moore, are you still here with us? Right. So, Linda, I don't know where you're from. If you're from Sydney, and if you were here for my education on the prizes, we're gonna hold everything at least until the weekend until I get organized. Pickup at Awaken Wellness is preferred, but I can mail. What are you bringing in for the swag bags?
Some coupons
All
on yak
right,
meat.
there you
Yep,
go. There you
yep.
go. There's Stacy here. She was a little bit late to the party. She's says, "Is it like eating beef?" You want ahead and go ahead and answer her quick again.
Very similar to beef. Very similar to beef. It is has a lot of the same health benefits as buffalo. It's lean yet juicy, where I feel like buffalo can kind of tend to dry out a little bit faster. Somebody did ask about cooking. The one thing with the larger lung capacity, it pumps more oxygenated blood through the muscle there. So it starts out a little bit redder. So when you're cooking it, you don't want to cook it past medium rare, which is going to be basically done, but it starts out a little bit redder than your average beef, I guess, if it kind of makes sense. It's very little bit deeper in color because of those larger lung capacities. So if you cooked it past your medium rare medium, then it will dry out a little bit. But
All right, and there's somebody here that says they had yak in the past and they're super happy to make this connection. They'll be getting a hold of you.
oh yeah, in Montana, there's the more research I do, there's some in Montana, Colorado has quite a few, Wyoming, yeah. So that is exciting. I'm excited. I know that those yaks that are in Polson, Montana, I've never officially met them, but I have read lots about them. So that is exciting. I hope they do reach out.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
And I'm happy to we go to the farmers market in Williston and Watford, but we're all over. I like to shop in Sydney. I'm in Williston, so I'm happy to deliver and coordinate. Just don't be afraid to reach out and ask. And yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I can't wait to see who else you have presenting.
All right. We are going to kind of stay on schedule here. So our next presentation will start at 5:45. So that's about 10 minutes. I'm just going to put my little commercial on. I'm going to encourage you guys, if you haven't yet, to get one of my raffle tickets. You'll see it through the commercial. I will put the link in the comments. I'll also put Ahshley's Facebook in the comments. She really is good at her posts. Those yak pictures that she posts are great. So you'll want to follow her on Facebook. You can get in Messenger if you're wanting to connect with for some of that great yak meat. So potty break and we will be back. All right, we are back. That is so great to be here. I want to remind everybody that your replay access is in my vault, is what my website calls it. So it's under the members area in my vault. When you first signed up, my system would have sent you a welcome message that said, "Welcome to the MonDak Wellness Summit Vault." That is where the replay will live for you. If you were on Monday or Tuesday, StreamYard does also send you a link to access the replay just for that night, but the vault will have the whole summit there, and it will stay there unless I get like my website access too full and they kick me out, or if I have to kick out some videos. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. So if you're confused at all about that, that is where you find that information is. Look in your email or just go to that members area. You will have to have a login, but it's all right there. Monday was awesome. Tuesday was awesome. And Ahshley really kicked off tonight as well. So next up, we've got a lady that I have recently come in contact with. I met her in person. I attended one of her events. And you are gonna love her. You are just gonna love her. Her name is Nikki Johnsrud. She is a mindset and growth coach, and she is the heart behind Cope Consulting, where she helps women reconnect with themselves and with each other through honest conversation, storytelling, and community. Nikki's message is both simple but deeply profound, and you could say that her true message is that connection is the cure. Her work is shaped by her own journey through profound grief and personal rebuilding, giving her a rare ability to meet women right where they are, especially those who have spent years putting everyone else first. Through her coaching, her talks, her experiences, like the Girlfriend Getaway Retreat, which I have tickets to, it's this month, and she's got a project called the Real Joy Project. She creates real spaces for women to slow down, to breathe, to remember who they are beneath their roles, their responsibilities, and their expectations. Welcome to the stage, Nikki Johnsrud.
Hi. Can you
So
hear me
nice
okay?
to have you. Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry for whatever reason I can't hear you, Tanya, but
Oh no.
I could hear you when I was on my phone. So I'm not sure what I've got going on, but as long as you guys can hear me, I think we'll call that good, right? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and kick over to my screen share here. Okay. So thank you for having me. I wanted to come on here tonight, and what an exciting venue. I mean, that we're all online. I think nowadays, one of the hardest things is getting to know people and figuring out how we make relationships, especially as we get older. And so for myself, several years ago, I started Cope Consulting, and it came out of a space that I was needing time with other parents. I was struggling with parenting, and I went and got trained on how to help myself and help others. And that was a wonderful experience. It really transformed my parenting. It transformed my marriage and how I worked with others, very much so. And so what I know now is that was laying the groundwork for other things that were to come in my life. So about 4.5 years ago, we experienced the most excruciating pain. Our daughter was killed in a tragic car accident, and I went limp, and I didn't know what to do, where to go, and how to proceed. However, my previous career as a school psychologist and a special ed administrator, I had to utilize skills in the time of crisis for many different things.
However, when grief happens, they tell you you should do nothing specifically or big in that first year. And so I bided my time and I thought about what would I want to do if I maybe changed or pivoted in that moment. And I know one thing that I felt after COVID, after everything shut down, I was not one of those people that was cleaning out closets or other things like that. I found myself drowning in the overwhelm of all the expectations, whether they were perceived or not. They were definitely something that I knew that I needed some help and I maybe needed to make some changes. So under some advisement or asking from a friend saying, I think that you should share about your experiences, much to my chagrin, and said, I don't think people need to know my story. With her positive and caring hands, I started speaking to other people about my experiences, not only with grief, but with being the oldest of 4 children, being a strong North Dakota woman and taking all things on and trying to figure out and navigate this new life that I had in front of me. Albeit there were excruciating, painful moments, I also started to share my story, and then that gave others permission to do the same. So that's where the new branded and new Cope Consulting came out of. I still try to help parents when I can and things like that, but there are definitely specific things that I have tried to really hone in on my skill set. And as I was saying earlier with COVID, I think a lot of us, especially women, I think that happened for everybody, but especially women, we became very isolated. And we often say, how many friends do you have on Facebook, right? But we can have millions of friends and feel very, very alone in those moments. And so I started to think of what are things that I can do to help other women that are maybe like myself, that are high functioning codependent people. They're very independent. They can do anything that they set their mind to, but they were feeling somewhat empty. And how could I start to bring that connection with other women and connection to themselves? And so started the journey of Cope Consulting. So a couple things, I'm going to see if I can share my presentation here one more time. Or no, I think you guys can see it, hopefully. So there's a couple different areas that Cope Consulting is all about. One of the first things is the event that's coming up at the end of this month. So I'm just wanting to show you guys my website so you know where to go, how to get there, those kinds of things. So it all started because I was saying to one of my good girlfriends, you know what, I just need to get with other women that are in the same space, wrap my head around what I need, and there's got to be other women that want that. I'm 49, whether you're younger than me or older than me, I think that we are all looking for that sense of belonging, that sense of community, a place that we can just be ourselves and not have to be guarded and worried about what everyone's thinking or saying, and also decide to start to make time for ourselves. I think that especially women in the Midwest, we pride ourselves on being everything to everyone, and we are the last people that we take care of. And so I'm really trying to get people women specifically, to start, and our husbands and the men in our lives, to say and our children, it's okay to make time for ourselves. So that's what the Girlfriend Getaway is all about. There is one coming up on January 30th through February 1st. It will be in Medora. And it is quite the experience, I will tell you that. This is my 4th one that we'll be having there, and it has evolved over time. So here is more information about what it looks like. And if you really want to, I would love for you to join us. Here's what you are going to find at a Girlfriend Getaway. There are many women of different walks of life and different seasons of life, and they're sharing about their journeys. Not only that, but I believe in self-care and soul care. So the self-care is what I always say, what we do for maintenance, for things that are we go and get our hair done, we get our nails done, whatever that is for you. Maybe it's a massage, that kind of stuff. And that's all well and good, but I think we also need to go deeper, what I call soul care. And that is taking a walk outside, taking time to be still, meditating, being peaceful and still so we can really hear the voices that are going on in our head. And whether you believe in God or things that are of that bigger nature, so we can start to understand what our body is saying and feeling. I know that a lot of times for me, someone that was at the top of my career and all those different things, I was looking for I was looking for other people's approval. And I finally figured out that the person no one was coming to save me. I had to save myself. So with the Girlfriend Getaway, you have multiple keynote speakers, starting out with myself on Friday night, then multiple speakers throughout the day on Saturday, and then we end with a keynote speaker on Sunday morning. However, there are other things that are added into that. We also have that self-care. So there's facials and massages and Reiki that you can go to if you so choose to. And then I also have someone come in and do art, whereas we don't often give ourselves that time to really sink in and maybe establish a new hobby. And you don't have to have hobbies, but other things that can help us find that stillness and be okay with that. In past Girlfriend Getaways, I've had people come in and give us classes on yoga or nervous system reset. And I think for a lot of us women, we don't know what that actually feels like when our nervous system is overloaded. We just keep putting our head down and work harder and work harder. And that's what the Girlfriend Getaway is all about, is actually taking that away and allowing yourself to be still and do what your body is asking you to do what your heart's asking you to do, and make space for yourself in your life. Cool thing, you get to choose. I don't provide the food. There's beautiful places and wonderful, yummy places that are in Medora. And the other thing is that we kind of take over the town and they put on the dog for us. And there's something about a space that's so quiet and still in the middle of winter that really is soothing for your soul. So that's that is the Girlfriend Getaway that I put on. I also sometimes put it on at multiple times throughout the year. We just had one that Tanya was at in September up here in Watford City. And I occasionally take it on the road and go other places. The other things that I do at Cope Consulting is I also do keynote speaking, where I go and speak upon the different topics that I have found that are my areas of expertise in my life, or things that I have been through. So here you'll find on my website, there are 5 different topics that I'll specifically talk on if you ask me to come and speak. The other things that I will do are coaching and consulting. And I will just say the coaching, I can do it occasionally by myself, and that's okay. But I also am one of the founding members of what's called Founders Table. And it is for soul entrepreneur women that come together, and we have had our businesses up and running. But I will tell you, it's a lot of work to have a business and do it alone. So that's the big thing about Cope Consulting. And I love what we have developed for the Founders Table, that you get a cadre of women. It's not just one person, that we have individual coaching and things that we do with you, but then you get consultation and coaching from the other coaches that are there and the mentees that are there. So that's pretty fantastic. And we do most of it online and interactively, like on Zoom. So that you get to have that interactive space to grow, and you don't feel any judgment when you ask questions and you say, you know what am I supposed to be doing here? I'm at this place in my business and I want to grow, but I'm feeling stuck. So that's the really cool thing about the Founders Table. Last but not least, the other thing that I am about and a part of is the Real Joy Project, and that is, just going to click into that quickly to see if it'll come up here. If you are into podcasts, I think that the other thing that is a thread that is through myself and Cope Consulting is that I have been on a journey of trying to find my joy. And I think that I'm not the only woman out there. And I'm not asking or saying that we need to be joyful every minute of every day. But I think that we get so caught up in the different components of what's going on in life that we forget to sit still and have our head where our feet are and actually ask ourselves, is this something that feels good to me, or is this something that doesn't really bring me joy? And it's okay to let it go. We get caught up in those things of the shoulds, the sea of shoulds. And so the cool thing about the Real Joy Project is we have our own podcast on YouTube, and we talk about things that we are going through. There's 3 of us that are in very different stages of life and different seasons. And so it's really an open forum for us to talk about topics that are maybe taboo, or maybe things that other women are wanting to know more about, and give our point of view, because there's nothing more powerful than a story that resonates with you. And like I said earlier, then it allows you to feel as though your story means something. So that is what Cope Consulting is all about. It's about me showing up for women, but also most importantly, me showing up for myself, but also giving other women the permission to say, yes, it's okay to say, I need to make time for myself. How many of us make appointments and different things for our children or our spouses, and we forget to make appointments for ourselves? And I'm just saying, I'm not asking you to put yourself at the beginning of the line. A lot of times women will say, well, that just feels so, I just don't think I could do that. And then other people realize that for too long, they have allowed themselves to, their silence has been detrimental to their mental health and their physical health. And I remember saying to myself years ago, as I had younger children, that when my kids were gone, I would then take care of myself. And I looked at another friend that was able to go work out and do all these things, and I would think, how in the world does she get all that done? And what it was is that she knew if she wasn't taking care of herself, then therefore she wasn't going to be able to live long and be able to take care of her kids. And so I'm a little late to the game, but I don't think I'm alone. And so better late than never. And that's what Cope Consulting is all about, is connecting women with other women and themselves. So now I'm going to try and hopefully hear you, Tanya.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Well, you can hear me now?
Yes.
Well, great. All right. Is there any questions for Nikki? Everybody's loving in the comments. I don't know if you were able to read them, or if you want to quick kind of scroll through them and see what's going on. I'm super excited about going to the girlfriend getaway. And, I probably can't completely just leave my cell phone at home, but I can leave it in the room. Like, I'll just say it. I'm Tanya, and I'm addicted to my damn phone. Whether it's business or, keeping up with your posting and all of that, like, it's a thing. That will be, I'm gonna call it some kind of fast, some kind of, social media fast. And I was doing a live today. I was talking about, why I put this thing together, and how vendor shows are hard with that one-on-one, like, I'm cool talking to the camera all day, but you put me in a real room with real people, and I'm like, you kind of forget how to interact. We used to have Tupperware parties. We used to have home interior parties. We used to, have circle and stuff like that. So I think that for myself, I need a freshen up with just not being the business person in the room, not being somebody's advisor in the room, just trying to make actual friendship connections. So I'm excited.
Yeah. What I would say to that is, I know even talking to my mother-in-law, I remember them going to, Welka or Homemakers Group and things like that. And so after COVID, I remember seeing all these people that have been cleaning out their closets, and I was like, I don't know who the heck that is, because that never was me, because I put my head down and I was just trying to be busy all the time. And I always thought that my soundtrack of life was, I'm going to rush and rush until life's no fun. And that's where I found myself It had already started to happen the year before. Our daughter was killed in a car accident. I'd felt restless in my job, and I was starting to feel like something's different. What is that? And I will say that previously I just, if I started to feel that, I just add something more to my plate, right? Because there's this uncomfortable feeling. So that must mean that I need to do something more. And so it's interesting that you bring that up, because I think that's what a lot of women do. We think that we're lazy if we sit on the couch. I'm pointing that my couch is behind me. We sit on the couch and read a book or watch a show or have a conversation and over coffee with a friend. We think that we are supposed to be in constant movement. And what I remind people, whether you believe in God or not, if you believe in God, even he rested on the seventh day, things of that nature, because we get caught up in that. We live in that social media world that we see the picture perfect, life or whatever. And that's what I thought. I had the husband, I had the 2.3 children, didn't have the dog or anything like that, didn't have whatever, the quintessential quote unquote, had everything, making the money, doing the things, had a side hustle, all the stuff. And then I realized I was using a lot of those things to avoid doing some of the things that I really needed to do and cultivate those wonderful relationships, not only with friends, but more so even with my husband, even though we've been together for 33 years. I didn't realize that it was that I didn't know what to say, because I didn't even know how I was feeling, right? Let alone how to bring up a conversation. And a very good friend of mine that's no longer with us, her and I said, it was like we went in front of, a group and said, we're workaholics, and we also have been avoiding our significant others, and we have to make a change. And that's when a lot of this started. I said, I can't be the only one. And so whether you can make it to the girlfriend getaway, there are still tickets. I hope that so many of you will come. There's nothing better than when you're in a room full of women that are saying, me too, in the way of like, oh, that happened to you, that happened to me. And I want us to remember back in the day when they would, when the washing machines were outside and they'd be out scrubbing, they were having a gathering. They were having circle when they were working together. Yeah. And so what has happened with all of the things nowadays is we think we're more connected, but we're less connected. Actually, somebody just said it to me. I was doing a keynote, or I was doing some professional development on Monday, and someone said, it was about, we used to say it takes a village, and now no one wants to be a part of the village, but it's fallen apart. And so it really struck me. And I said, I'm never going to forget that comment. And she came up to me and said, well, I'm not going to forget the comment when you said, no one's coming to save you. You have to save yourself. And I remember somebody saying to me along the way, you just need to slow down, Nick, just slow down. I'm like, well, what 1-800 number do I need to call to tell them to take their foot off the gas and put it on the brake? Right. So that's where I realized as I was stumbling along that it was me. I could only save me. No one else could come and save me. I had to make the decision that some things have to go off the plate. Just like when you buy a new pair of shoes or a new purse or a new shirt, usually we tell ourselves we're supposed to take one in, one out, right? And it's the same thing for the things that are on our plate. So I see some comments here, like, where do we get tickets? If you go to my website, and I know Tanya put it on there, so I'll put it back in here in the link. You go to my website and it says events, and go down to the 3-day girlfriend getaway, and there you say where it says save your seat. And you can choose to go to all the keynote speakers, which is the ticket is $299 for the 3-day event, or you can choose to add on those self-care and those individual sessions where you can have a facial. Last year was the first time I added the facials. So many women came out of there. We could have taken a video. They came out like zombies, because so many of them had never taken the time to give themselves to be able to go and have a facial. And they just sat in the chair for 15-20 minutes afterwards and said, that was life-changing. I've got to do that again. So you can choose to do that. You can have a massage. You can go to Reiki. And you might say, well, I don't even know what those things are. Well, come along for the ride and the girlfriend getaway, and you get to learn about some of those things through the speakers, but also you find your tribe. And that's one of the biggest things I've found is I've been blessed to, I not only have a tribe here where I live, but I have so many friends that are far and wide because my story resonates with them. It doesn't mean that only people that have gone through tremendous loss and grief, but those of us that have put ourselves last and now we're trying to save ourselves from ourselves. So I'm trying to read some of the other ones.
Yeah, and it's just a common theme. Yeah, Sandy has a great comment. Thank you for sharing. She was a caregiver all of her life, and we do that. It is part of our DNA. It is part of how the good Lord made us to do that, to care for others. The climate, I think, was just a little bit different then, and everybody has stress, and every season of our life is different. And sometimes we have friendships that come and go. Some are shallow. Some are the people that you sat, whatever sport your kid was in, that you sat in the bleachers with. And then, now the kid graduated. So those people are missing from your life. You don't really miss them, but they're missing. We get caught up in what all the kids need. They've got to have the best shoes, but you don't buy yourself organic skincare because it's too expensive. And it is super hard to balance, and I appreciate that. Each and every person has to sort that out for themselves, where their dollars go, where their time goes, and all those things. For one, I'm really enjoying this gray hair stage of life. It is completely different. I still have that inner workaholic I've got no boss. I've got nobody making me do any of this, but damn it, I like it.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny. It's funny that you bring that up because actually that's what I'm speaking on. I'll be speaking right away on Friday night, and I talk about how I was able to find my compass and find that better life balance. I didn't even talk about my new venture that I'm going to be helping out with Soul 57, which is a nonprofit group that's helping bring services to families and children in schools that have experienced grief and loss. I so wish that would have been here available when my son had to go through, and we went through losing a child. And so having something new, like you just talked about the workaholic part of us, right? I was thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to do all these things because I went to some training for that last month. And I was thinking, I've got to get this all done. And I had to remind myself, no. You have a major event coming up this week or this month, and I even say it to other people. Actually, I called a gal today and she said, well, I'm actually not working today. I said, well, then I'm not going to talk to you. And she was like, what? And I said, because I'm going to help you learn boundaries as I'm still trying to teach myself, and not in a derogatory way, but I'm saying I respect that you're trying to take the day off. So I'm hanging up the phone and you call me tomorrow or the next day or whatever day you're working. But it takes that, just us making that comment of saying, I see you, because when we allow ourselves to be seen, we see others. And so it's giving that permission for them to say, it's okay for me to take a day off. I hear you when you say it's hard as a workaholic, but we can be trained. Old dogs can learn new tricks. Yes. So agreed. And I don't know about you, but I tend to be that person that just cannot stand uncleared notifications on my phone. So that boundary is my problem, right? Yeah.
When you run a business and you closed your door at 5 and you went home, but yet everybody has access to you on Facebook Messenger, and everybody has access to you, through your email, and like that, I don't keep a ding on. I don't keep notifications and things like that, and that's on me. That's on me to say this will wait till tomorrow, but then you get to work and your plate is full there. So it is. It's a struggle. Balance is a struggle.
Balance is a struggle, but I have taught myself how to, and I teach that in some of the conversations and the keynotes that I teach about when they come and ask me to speak, as I talk about how to let go of some of that, because I will say that I am a control freak. So I took off, if I show you right now, you can't even see, it doesn't even show on my phone how many emails are unread, because I took that off in the last couple of years. I took off the notifications, even though so much of my job now, my consulting business, is based on social media and things like that. But then what I started to do, I took back that of saying, I will show up when I'm ready, because that's what I was feeling, is that was like leading me in, and I felt that I never had any downtime. So there's definitely some tricks to the trade, but it is hard. I will not say that there aren't moments that I fail, but I think the biggest message I could say is that we all fail. And if we look back in history, we learn the most from our failures. And even as in my previous job as a school psychologist, I would always say to my staff, well, now we know that didn't work. It wasn't a failure, because if we wouldn't have tried it, we wouldn't have known. So it's the same
ode
with
of the strong-willed child who is now 53.
So I hope that women, I know that there's probably some men listening too, but I see all of these comments on, that they feel that. And, all I'm going to say is you're not alone, and there is hope. I'm not saying I'm perfect. That's why I call myself a high functioning codependent, because I'm constantly watching and want to make sure everyone else is okay and be the fixer. But I've had to do some fixing of my own and realize that it's not my responsibility to make sure everyone's taken care of. It's my responsibility to first put my oxygen mask on myself so I can help others. So thank you so much for having me.
That is great. Thanks, everybody. Any last minute comments? I am going to go ahead and let Nikki down, and we're going to draw again. All right, so we'll have another winner.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, everybody, stick with me. If there's any comments, go for it. I kind of have to leave the screen while I draw. You can see me, I can't see you. The next winner is Lynn Haugen. All right, so we know Lynn is from Sydney, and she can easily stop in. Now, I want to stay on time. Just in case there's someone out there who was only going to show up at 6:30 to listen to Ann Riedy. So I want to stay on our schedule. Let me look at the clock here. I can't see it from where I'm at. So it's 6:15. So we're going to come back at 6:30. Like I said, I just want to honor that time slot just in case there's one person out there who wasn't going to get on until 6:30 just because they wanted to hear Ann Riedie's presentation. So everybody go take a break, walk around, do what you need to do, and we will be back live at 6:30 with Ann Riedy. Thank you so much. All right, I am back. I hope everybody's back as well. My husband, he's watching upstairs and he's telling me that there is a 3-minute delay. So I guess we're not all on the same time here, but that's okay. We're not striving for perfection, right? We are just here to enjoy these presentations. Let me know in the comments if everybody's ready. If you're back, remember getting in the comments gets you entered into the drawing. So you want to make sure that you are all getting entered into the drawing and interacting. We don't mind at all. The comments are not a distraction. So if you're chatting amongst yourselves, that's totally welcome. We're all here for those connections. Now, our next guest is Riedy. Riedy is someone who I have got a little bit more connection with, like connection that goes way back. We've recently become reacquainted as colleagues, but I was way back when we were from the same small town, and I was her flower girl in her wedding. So how interesting is that? And what she's got going on is fabulous. You are going to love what she has to say. She helps women reset and restore their autonomic nervous system so they can finally step out of fight and flight into deep calm, clarity, and healing. She also is a former registered nurse who personally has navigated her own autoimmune symptoms like fibromyalgia and knows firsthand what it's like to live in a body that is stuck in survival mode. Through nutrition, root cause healing, energy work, and mindset practices, Anne has rebuilt her health from the inside out. Today, she teaches women how powerfully they truly are, how to regulate their nervous system, to reconnect with their feminine energy, and cultivate peace when life feels chaotic. In her MonDak wellness session, she will guide us through simple practical exercises to find that instant calm. Welcome to the stage, Anne Riedy.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Tanya, before you leave, I'll tell you when to put on my PowerPoint, but I don't want you to leave quite yet.
Okay.
I just want to tell you I'm writing a memoir, and I was looking at pictures like when I was a child, some black and white pictures that were taken around our farm, and I ran across our wedding pictures. And I was looking for them right before this presentation so I could show people. You're such a girl, and I was 18 when I got married, and anyway, it was really fun to see that picture, and I was hugging you, and you're just so little. Anyway.
Yes. Yeah, that of course it seems like a lifetime ago. I mean, in a sense it was.
Yeah.
It was. All right, I'm going to leave. I'll leave you to it. Let me know when you want your slides up.
Okay. So the name of my presentation is Calm is Cure. And last night I had this revelation that I wanted to change things up a little bit. So I am here to empower you, as men and as women, to really love yourself and really get to know yourself in this crazy busy world that we live in with schedules and just a go atmosphere. And we do find it hard to take time for self-care, to take care of ourselves. I so appreciated Nikki's presentation. It was so good. I truly believe that we are here, everyone is here for expansion and fuller expression of who we are. And so I want to read something from a book that I have been reading over and over again, and it has just spoken to me a lot. And it's called This Thing Called You by Ernest Holmes. And I just want to read a little bit of it and some inspiring words that he has to say for you to embody. So you and I, like all others, are seeking the joy of living. We wish to be needed, to be loved, to be included in the great drama of life. This urge is in every individual. It is also in everything. The rose exists to express beauty. Root and branch conspire with nature to give birth to blossom. An artist will starve in his garret that he may chisel an angelic form from a slab of marble, compelling the unyielding substance to accept his breath of creation. Life has entered into you and I, and with it, this irresistible impulse to create. It is because that we have these irresistible urges, these longings to live more fully, the feeling that life belongs to us. There is something within you and I beyond all doubt and fear, something which has never been limited by your acts or destroyed by your feelings. This is the only something that can make you whole. I love this so much. This whole book is very inspiring, and I'm going to read a little bit more out of it. But I am here to empower you to take control, because we are all very powerful beings. I believe in the whole thought process that we are spiritual beings. We are created in the likeness of God, and I truly believe that we have that spirit within us first and foremost, and then we're given these bodies to live in this life that we're living, but we're also given an intellect to learn and to grow and to, figure out who we are and the patterns that are inside of us, that we can release some of the things that don't serve us anymore and move on to, that greater spiritual self that we truly are. So Tanya, you can go ahead and put up my slides. I know that as we go through life, we don't feel good all the time, and life is busy. We are busy each and every day, and we do want to feel better. We want to be happy. We want to have that joy. We want to find that love for our life. We want to be prosperous. So how we feel better comes in a lot of different ways: emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally. And I truly believe that we are here for that purpose, to find that within ourselves. So the question that I want to ask you is, do you know how powerful you really are? I truly believe that we have the power within us to achieve great things, but a lot of times we have limiting beliefs within us that maybe block that power, and we don't even know that we have it. For some reason, my nose is running, so I apologize. I have to wipe my nose. But I want to talk to you first and foremost, before the calm, is about this energy, specifically this invisible energy that is all around us all the time. It is moving towards us. It is emitting from us. It is within us and all over the place all the time. I have a spa in my house, and working as a registered nurse, everything is about, if there's a test or an x-ray or something, if you can see it, then it's there. But there's this power within us, this spiritual energy within us, that if we can tap into it, and how we get there is through the calm, it's through the self-care, it's through taking a step back and listening to that still small voice inside of us, because the answers are always there. We are part of this universal consciousness, God consciousness. We are part of the answers, and it's goodness and it's love and it's peace that is truly at the core of our being. But we have forgotten that because of what our senses are telling us and what we've experienced and what we are feeling within our bodies that aren't feeling so good. So I want to bring you back to that calm. In the last 10 minutes, I have not been nervous all day long, really, but the last 10 minutes have, just waiting for the clock to roll so that I can talk. I want to take you through an exercise of calm because I need it right now also. And so just think about, you can do this at any time. If life is chaotic, if you're busy at work and things just seem to not be moving in the direction that you want, you can just take a few minutes and do this. So I would like you to put one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, close your eyes, and just take a deep, long belly breath in through your nose. And just breathe in calm. Hold it for just a second and then breathe out through your mouth, and just breathe out that, that excess energy, that non-calm energy or feeling or emotion that you're feeling. So let's just do that 2 more times. Breathe in through your nose. Feel that belly pushing out as you breathe in deep, and then blow it out. Breathe out through your mouth. 1 more time. Breathe in calm. And just relax your shoulders as you breathe out. Relax your body. And tell yourself, all is okay. I am safe. I am safe. So how did that feel? I feel like the calm just relaxed my whole body, even down to my toes. And you can do that. I know people that actually even put an app on their phone that will ring like a little tiny ding every so often, however often they set it for, just to remind themselves to breathe and to relax. Because I think that a lot of times we live in a tense position. We're always trying to figure things out and do. And all of that is masculine type energy, which has nothing to do with male and female. But energy is everywhere, and it's in everything. It's in this desk. And if it's everywhere, it's in us and it's through us. And even our thoughts, I'm getting mixed up a little bit because I'm trying to use my arrows on my computer, and I have to not do that because the slide is here. Our thoughts are energy. And thoughts are very, very, very powerful source of energy. And I don't know if any of you guys know that, but I truly believe in the law of attraction. And I believe that the things that we think about, the dominant thoughts that we're thinking about all day long, if they're not good thoughts, we are going to attract more of that to us the next day. And so to become very aware of what we are thinking. And I read this book. It was called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. This book changed my life about thinking about awareness, because we're all aware of the things around us, the things that our 5 senses tell us, what we see, hear, feel, touch, and smell. But there's a deeper awareness within us that we can tap into. And how Michael Singer told us to start that process, and I had never done this before, was to go look in the mirror and to become very aware of what you're saying to yourself, your thoughts, when you're looking in the mirror. And he said, are you looking in the mirror and saying, oh, hi, beautiful, you are so beautiful, I love you so much, look at that body, wow? Or are you saying, oh man, I got spots on my face, my hair's a mess, oh, this body, I don't know why I can't lose weight, on and on, things like that. And as I did that, I was kind of shocked, because it's just life. Like, your thoughts come and they go and they cause problems. They never shut up. But I never really stood back away from that and actually listened to what I was saying. And one day in the mirror, I told that person, I'm like, I wouldn't even like you. If you were my friend and a friend treated me like that, I wouldn't ever want to be hanging around with them ever. And so the book was comical to me, because it made me very aware of how negative I was towards myself, sometimes with, body image and, different things when I looked in the mirror. So that was a really, we call it beautiful awarenesses, instead of, getting down on yourself and beating yourself up even more. It's a beautiful awareness that, okay, I'm going to change this. I am going to tell myself that I love you, and, pick out the positive things about you in the mirror, that, that image in the mirror, so that more of that can come towards me with this law of attraction. What you put out will come back. I've been doing a lot of coaching with different people, they're my coach. So I'm paying them to coach me, and I'm finding out a lot about me. And it's an amazing subject when you start learning about yourself, and you can learn some really, really deep things about yourself when you start doing that studying. And it's all very positive. Sometimes it's things that you are aware of. I call it really thinking about how are you reacting to life, because things happen in our life that cause us to have really strong emotions and feelings that maybe cause us to like not be able to, you know, do our job properly or whatever. And these emotions, a lot of times that stop us in our tracks, are negative emotions. And when you stop to become aware of why am I feeling this way? Like, what triggered it in my life? Sometimes it's really negative, and you don't want to, you know, be authentic and tell anybody about it. It's like your secret self in there that is coming out. But what I learned through these coaching programs that I took, that instead of looking at it as a bad trait or something in you that you don't like, look at it as contrast. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful awareness that is coming out, because if you don't even know it's there, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know that you could even change it. So I'm going to give you a real simple example. When I started coaching, I've probably told people that I am an introvert and I am shy. I don't know. I don't know if it's been every day of my life, but most of my adult life, I have thought that, and I expressed it. But the introvert part, I thought, was a negative quality, because I really like to be around people that are very outgoing and fun and laugh and have that joy that just bubbles out of them. And I'm more quiet and reserved. And I've always been shy. And one of my coaches one time said, "Why do you keep saying that?" And I said, "Because it's fact. You know, it's just the truth." And they're like, "Well, does that serve you to be shy? Like, you have these goals, and can you ever get to them if you're shy? It's an identity thing." And when I got to thinking about it, I'm like, no. And they said, "Well, what would you rather be? Because you can change your identity in any way that you want to. But if you keep saying that you're shy, you're going to continue to be shy. It's going to keep being part of your identity." And I said, "Well, I want to be confident and bold and be able to express myself fully about the things that I am passionate about." And they said, "Well, you need to start expressing that then. And don't ever say that you're shy again." And so the only times I say that is when I am teaching people and using that as an example, because by saying that, you know, I am confident, I am bold, I am, you know, outgoing, I am expressing myself fully. If I said it and I didn't believe it, I would just be attracting more shyness to myself. But if I said it as a change in identity, and I truly believed that I was going to move into that, within a couple weeks, I didn't feel shy anymore. And I didn't feel like I ever had to tell anybody that anymore. And I just felt confidence bubbling up. Yes, those limiting beliefs come back in a bunch of different ways, but when you look at them as beautiful awarenesses, instead of wanting to push them down so that they can, you know, sever in there. I read another book that says feelings buried alive never die. So if you push them down, they become part of your heart wall. You become so that you can't even express emotions very well. I think I was like that. I don't know why for sure, but when we were started talking about identity and emotions, I actually had to go to Google and print off an emotion code. It's a frequency vibration code picture, and it shows the different frequencies of the different vibrations, like love way up here, and, you know, empowerment and peace and all of that, and then it gets way down into the worry and doubt and anxiety and depression. And when you can become aware of where your emotions are flowing, you're the only one that can change them. And if you are waiting for somebody else to come into your sphere to, bring you out of that funk, then you really haven't taken control of your life. And so I want to empower you and to say that you are courageous. You are very, very powerful, because it's within us. It's part of our spiritual self, that spirit self that we are born with. And then I think we forget about it because of all the chaos around us and what we're hearing and seeing and living. Even as a small child, it's all soaking into our subconscious, and then we have these patterns inside of us that feed our life, as we get older, until we start to study and learn some of this stuff. I want to read this one little stuff in this book, and I think it's about power. So I know there is a spiritual center within me which is perfect. In each one of us, it's perfect. I am now telling my own consciousness automatically to ward off any thoughts of doubt or uncertainty. They don't serve us anyway. I sense that every state of doubt, every consciousness of negation is leaving me. Every doubt is being converted into certainty. Fear is being converted into faith. I have an abiding sense of happiness and peace. I am the very essence of peace. I have an inward confidence in my oneness with good, or with God. I rest in sublime trust. I had to look up sublime, and it's an awesome word. I really like it. So having that peace inside of you, that calm, that can be there no matter what the circumstances are in your life, is such an amazing feeling. And I would like to just give everybody the pill to be able to have that within them. And yes, it takes us becoming aware of who we truly are, because that peace and that love is in there. And then it's using our intellect. And I learned from Bob Proctor through some of this coaching that I have done that we have more than these 5 senses that we learn to live with at a very young age by what we're seeing, hearing, feeling, touching, smelling. Even if we don't understand it, it's still soaking into us, and it becomes part of who we are. And sometimes we act and we react to situations in life, and we don't even know where that's coming from, because it was given to us through circumstances and people and the things that we heard, and we were too young to have the age of reason to be able to stop it. So anyway, I learned from Bob Proctor that we have these 6 higher faculties of the mind. They're given to human beings, but they're not given to animals. And I call them our spiritual senses. And I had never really heard about them before. Yes, I've heard of the words before, but I didn't understand how we can develop these spiritual senses within us, that they're gifts. We can develop them, we can strengthen them, and we can actually live by these spiritual senses more than what we're living through our 5 senses that we have always lived by. And one of the exercises that they gave us to do was to strengthen our will muscle. And it's not, we have free will. That's the only way that I even knew about that. But this is focus. And it's focus on truly believing that we are created in the likeness and image of God. We are a spiritual being, and it's reminding ourselves every single day that we are. And when you strengthen this will muscle, you're strengthening your focus in every aspect of life to be able to, focus for more than a second or two, because our mind never shuts up. I mean, those thoughts are going. And when you can take a step back and realize what the heck is going on, why don't you just be quiet for a minute? And we learn to quiet ourselves so that we can listen to another voice, another way to answer questions or to get the answers that we are seeking. In my spa, I have a harmonic egg. And one of the things that I ask people to do is, what is your intention for being here? And it's kind of, I usually have to explain to people what I mean by intention, because it's not usually the way that people speak about it, but it's really their reason why they're there. But it goes deeper than that, because I believe now, I didn't know that I could do that, but I can desire something, I can ask for it, but then I need to be in joyful expectation that my request is already answered. I need to have that belief inside, and belief is something that one accepts as true or real. And faith is a complete trust, and my slide thing is in the way, so I can't even read my slide. But it's a complete trust or confidence that it is real, that it is happening right now. And because you ask, it has already happened. Do you believe that when you ask for, wellness, when you ask for calm, when you ask for, prosperity or joy in your life, do you have complete faith that that has already been answered? The law of attraction says, and God's goodness says that that is already within us. We don't have to search for it, but we do have to have that faith and belief that that is true. And so that's kind of a big one. So when they come in and they're there for just say a physical discomfort, and they get in my egg, which I'll show you a picture of in a minute, I want to redirect them, and not, their intention is for maybe the pain to go away, but I want to redirect them and be grateful and thankful that the pain is gone, and take them into a time of their life when they did not have that happening. And to just say that I am so happy and grateful that, I am feeling well, my body is happy, and, my shoulder is moving freely, and there is no pain. Whatever the circumstance is, it's gone. And then they just relax in the egg for those 50 minutes into thinking of a time in their life where they were the happiest, the most at peace. And a lot of people have to go way back to their childhood before they can remember something like that they would want to just live in forever. And then I just say, we're just going to let the egg do what it's going to do, because there is healing energy there. It's frequency that is coming through the colors, it's coming through the music, and the sounds of nature that are in some of the music that can go in, and the frequency can go in and start to heal the body, the emotions, the spiritual self. The Bible verse that, ask and you shall find, seek and knock. But how many of us truly believe and have faith that everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks will find, and the one who knocks, the door will always be open to them? I never really took it to heart like that strongly within myself, that these things are really happening to me. So why is taking time for self-care so hard and not a priority in so many of our lives? And I think that so many of us are living in, and we always have, in masculine energy. There's feminine energy and there's masculine energy. And masculine, it doesn't have anything to do with female and male, but the masculine energy is not in rest and digest. It is in a stress stage. It's always doing, and working harder, trying to figure everything out. Our mind is, we never slow down, and we don't even sleep the amount of hours that they say that we really should sleep. But feminine energy is really the kind of energy that can activate your body's healing intelligence. We don't heal when we are in a stress mode all the time, the fight or flight, or we maybe even have went into freeze. Like, we're just soldiering on because life is tough and busy and we don't know how to get out of that. But the feminine energy is very calm, and it helps to reset your autonomic nervous system. And it's calm in the inside, like taking that breath and relaxing your shoulders and your arms and your neck and your head and your whole body, feeling that. It's quiet, it's soft, it's peaceful, and it's connecting to your higher self. It's connecting to that God within, that spirit within, the source of where all of this calm and this peace comes from. But how do we get there in our busy lives? How do we do that in our busy lives? And once again, here's the quick formula. There's other things that you can do, like come to my spa, but this quick formula is a quick way during the busyness of the day. I've truly learned to embody and strengthen these 6 higher faculties of the mind, and I pretty much can live neutral in my life no matter what is going on around me. The fight or flight and all of these emotional feelings that start to happen around us, I can live in a neutral state and not react to the stuff anymore. And it's not that I'm not there, like I don't have feelings of, sadness, or, we went through my mom passing away in March. It wasn't that I wasn't there and I didn't have that feeling. But I was there with her. She knew I would always be with her. But it's still, I don't have to take on everybody else's cause and effect of life. It's their time. I'm just there to help, be there, and listen, and to do a life review. I mean, that's an example of, my mom being there with her while she is dying. I'm moving through some of these slides. Oh, I'm pushing the wrong buttons. Sorry about that. So the feminine energy is about receiving, resting, restoring ourselves. Rest and digest. The masculine is do, push, achieve, fight, flight, freeze. And healing begins when we can, get into that feminine energy. And it isn't, this calmness that we are going to feel is not passive. It's not doing anything, nothing. It is very, very, very powerful if you can tap into that. And for me, that is my number one chore to do every day. The dishes can wait, the clothes can wait, everything else can wait. But I am going to get into that calm. I am going to get into that and practice these feminine energy practices, like, like meditation, like going out in nature, grounding myself. Those things are more important. Maybe it's journaling, connecting with other people. Doing that, and even using my imagination and thinking into the things that I desire for my future is more powerful. Those 10 minutes of tapping into that is more powerful than me working my butt off for 4 hours doing something that I think is going to push me forward in my business or my life or my marriage, all of that. Your body already knows how to heal. It just needs you to give it the permission that it needs by giving it the tools, and by you having that faith and belief in the power within you to ask for what you want, and in joyful expectation, expecting it. I talk to my subconscious all the time, and I ask it questions about what is going on in my body. And if I wake up, like I go to bed sometimes, and then I just feel this anxiety, and I used to just get up and then just turn on the TV to just make it stop. And it wasn't real terrible, but it was there. And I just got to the point where it was like it was trying to control me. And I just got to the point where I just told my subconscious, enough. I'm not getting up, and I don't want you there anymore. And I'm falling asleep in peace and joy and a life review of my life and where I want it to be tomorrow. And what I found is that it instantly went away when I got felt like I had to get tough with it. But this is where my journey began. I was still working as a nurse, and a company came into my life with these vitamins. And I was not into nutrition at all. I was actually kind of afraid of it. Didn't know anything about it. But because they had these vitamins and they're very special to me, I have used these and our family has used them for over 30 years. I feel better now than I did when I was in my early 30s. Late 20s, I was on the path to becoming diagnosed with fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue. You know how that escalates with autoimmune problems? And these products came into my life, and they're powder. You mix them with a predetermined amount of water and you drink them on an empty stomach. And what they are like is getting an IV of nutrition, because they become the same pH as your blood, sweat, and tears. It bypasses all of the stomach activity, breaking things down in the stomach, because you're drinking them on an empty stomach. They'll go immediately into your small intestine and be absorbed into the bloodstream. And then your body knows what to do with all of these nutrients. And they're in your bloodstream at a very, very high concentration. And so I understood IVs as a nurse. I definitely did not understand how this could work, taking it by mouth and having it go through your system. But they've done blood tests on how fast some of this will get into the bloodstream, and in about 15 minutes, it's there and it's doing its work. And it's because of the delivery system. And when you mix it correctly, it is going to be just like getting an IV of great nutrition. And I work with a lot of doctors that work with IV vitamin therapy, and they just rave about it. They absolutely love it, because needles are not for everybody. The name of my business is Harmony Wellness, and I welcome you to come. My husband always wanted me to start a business, and we have this house and we have this perfect spot for this great big huge harmonic egg. It is a color, light, sound chamber. There's a zero gravity chair in the center of it. It's created using Tesla mathematics and sacred geometry. It's beautiful. The sound in there is amazing when you're in there, and the artists that are creating the music are creating music very special for this particular egg. And there's artists from all over the world. They go out in nature. Here's some things that clients say. So you're going to hear whale sounds from Peru, and waterfalls and water and birds, and just the music is very, very special in this egg. And there's frequency in color. There's frequency in all the different instruments in music. And I don't understand why this is not moving. Well, shoot. Oh. We actually even do remote sessions. Here's a picture of my mom and then all of us as kids when they were younger. And we do remote sessions, and it works the exact same way on your central nervous system as if you were actually in the egg. And it all happens because of quantum entanglement. It's the same way that prayer works. It's the same way that we can connect with cell phones. I don't know how it works, but frequency can travel as long as it knows who it's going to and the intention is there. It can happen. My grandkids love my egg. This is the gal who created the egg. She was actually at my house. One of the things to become an egg garden is you have to assemble the egg in your house. It's an amazing experience. I also have a handheld frequency scanner, and I use this every day, 24/7. It optimizes the energy after it scans your whole entire body, every aspect of your body, including toxins that might be in there. And then you can optimize the energy around your body, the frequency, so that you have a better chance of feeling better and healing. There's an animal program on there. This is just what some of it looks like when you're scanning and optimizing your body. And there's meridian chakra reports, a comprehensive report that has every part of the body that even me doing anatomy and physiology several times, there's parts of the body that come up on there that you can just go to AI, chat, GPT, and figure out where it is. And it's like spot on. It's an amazing tool. I also have a lymph drainage machine, and it uses electricity, like a little bit of electricity. Rachel's going to be able to explain this better. But it comes through those bulbs, and you rub the bulbs on you. It's just so soft and gentle, and you can actually feel your lymph moving, and you can hold it over where, you know, there might be a cluster of lymph nodes in different parts of your body. You start learning all of that. And I can just feel lymph moving in my legs and my arms and different places when I use this, and it, you know, it lasts. It, you know, come and go. This is a picture of my husband using what we call the hub. It's a neuro reset. Children can use it too. And what you do is you set the program up to work on different brain waves. So you can work on theta brain waves or alpha, beta, or gamma. And then you can program it to whatever you want to program it. Maybe you have anxiety, and so we'll go through a program with that. Or maybe you want better focus, or maybe you have Parkinson's or MS, or maybe you have an addiction of some sort. This can actually do a neuro reset in your body to help you overcome whatever it is that you decide that you want to work on. I also have an infrared sauna. I have this foot detox. It works by raising your body temperature to kill the viruses and the bacteria. This is the PEMF mat that I have. I love it so much. It heats. It has chakra stones running along both sides of it, so that it you get those frequencies also through this mat, and it is amazing. Terahertz energy wand. You just have to come and try all this. And then all of the red light. What I love the most is that a lot of these things people can have in their own homes because it's affordable, and red light therapy is becoming very well known to help with macular degeneration. It helps with skin issues. It goes deeper into the body, and there's so many different kinds of modalities that people can use to help with the different issues. I love the mitt. I don't have it yet, but my husband has arthritis in his hands, and I love that. And then the band that you can wear, and it'll go right into your bloodstream and help to cleanse your blood. This is what I am waiting for. It's coming soon. It's called a rain. It's where negative can really become positive, and it is raining down on you through air. I think I've never sat underneath of 1.4 million negative ions and soaking into your body as you're just reclining in a chair. And that is my next project here, and I can't wait to get it so that people like you can come and sit in it. So I want to thank you guys for listening. I love being here. I've never been on a platform like this before, but I truly do love being here. And thank you, Tanya, for doing this. I know that you put a lot of love and work into this, and everybody that showed up to be here to listen. I appreciate you. And thank you. In gratitude, come visit me. Oh, I have some specials. So Tanya, if you want to come on back on, you can. But I do have some specials that I have never done before. But if you go onto my website and order one session in the harmonic egg, I'm not going to give you 2 sessions. I'm going to actually give you 3 sessions, because we really feel like the start of anything, the 3 sessions would be really good for you. But there's a caveat with that, because I want you to, when you purchase it, I want you to use those 3 sessions in the next 6 weeks. and then they're going to expire, because self-care is important, and this will spur you to use it and to get it. I also do free inner voice scans with that scanner. If anybody wants one, they can email me and let me know. I would gladly do that. And there was a third thing, but I can't remember what it was. So I know that my time. Oh, I do spa nights. And this I want to get into more, because more people have been asking me. But for $50, you can come, and I would let you know, like a party of 3 to like 7 or 8. You can come and you can try out 3 different modalities that I have. And a lot of what I have is feminine energy. It gives you that sense of calm when you're sitting there, and you can detox in the calm. You can, restore and regenerate in the calm. So I'm done.
Oh, thanks, Anne. Anne has got so many fun toys. Casey, my husband, and I have been over and tried out a few, and we need to get back over there. Just, like we've been saying throughout the whole summit, is taking time to do this. Our first, Ahshley, who was on first tonight, something that she said, Anne, I think I love this. It was, the grass is greener where you water it. Don't you love that?
Yeah.
And our local community, it is, well, that's why we're doing the summit, is people like what you have at your humble little spa is like priceless. Like Anne has got, you don't find tools like she has compiled in the big cities. It's what you have is, it's really, really amazing. One of my friends, Miranda, she's on here. I had given her your information not too long ago. She needs to come see you. But yeah, this spa night, grow your email. How do you have a email list going? How do you let people know? Like if you're doing a spa night, do you let people know, or would you rather that Miranda gets her and 4 friends and they just call you and they book their private spa night?
That's what people have asked me to, if they can get some people together and then call me and, come up with a couple different dates and then come out and enjoy the spa night. I think that will work better. I've put it on families with more freedom, and the 2, I've only had 2, but they have been pretty successful, and they're fun. It's fun for me too. And they can't do everything that I have, because like the lymphatic drainage, it takes me in that room with them.
Right,
And
that's kind of not included. Right,
Yeah.
that would be a special trip. But I've done that too, everybody, and it is totally, it's worth doing. It is, don't even consider it a splurge. Consider it non-negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, any more questions? Some compliments there for you. Yeah, get your glasses back on, Anne, and read the comments. You've got a distance, somebody who does your egg from a distance. Sonia Swan is here. And yeah, the company that Anne is with, that Solex, the AO Solex, I've bought a toy from her. They have got some good stuff. So hit her up about all these resources and get out there, booking an appointment. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing, because I appreciate the people that have been on here before me for a couple different reasons. Because I worked as a nurse for 20 years, and you have that medical mindset, and so I have all this energy. I'm learning about it. I'm not like, I don't know if I'm even as confident to say that this is going to really work for you. And so when I hear some of those people talk about the beamer and what it has done for people, and some of the other people talking, it's like, man, they have so much confidence in this invisible energy that you can't even see. And, even with the PEMF mats, you don't even necessarily feel it. I mean, things start happening in your body, but you don't feel like, you know, something traveling up and down your body and like going into a cold plunge.
Yep.
And so I appreciate their confidence and their belief, because I talk about belief and faith, but sometimes I don't know, how to.
Oh yeah, even it's the ego. It's our ego that wants to come and steal those simple things from us, that wants to just take that away and make it not true. And I do think like our Beamer presentation that was on Monday, for anybody who missed that, it's consistency. That Beamer would have not worked for her if she would have used it for a week and stopped. The same thing with what you do, the same thing with what I do. It's consistency. So, if someone comes out for a couple of sessions in your egg, that you can't go into that expecting a miracle all at once. The same with Awaken Wellness and what I do. It's consistency. People get amazing results because they stay consistent. They don't give up. And we saw it even as nurses. People would come into the walk-in clinic with this fat finger, or pain somewhere, and like, well, what are you doing for it? Well, I took a dose of ibuprofen. It didn't work. I'm like, one dose, and it didn't work. So it's those little things. Or somebody's got a rash head to toe, and they come into the walk-in clinic. What are you doing for it? Did you take Benadryl? I took a dose and the rash was still there. It's just, it's that consistency. If we would all take the thinking like, okay, you eat every day, right? You don't not do that. You don't neglect to do that. If we have to, like you said, make it a priority. The dishes can wait. This is what I've decided to do for me. And it's that thing. We all have to draw the line. Later in life, we have a little bit more time, I think, to do that. It's the busy moms and, running 3 kids to this place and that place that really need us, that they need to be smarter than we were at that age. And they need to start figuring out, maybe it's even their prayer closet, how to consistently get in there every day. Just those little things. But thank you so much. You can keep looking at the comments while I do this quick drawing. You'll see me, but I can't see you guys. I'm going to draw for our next winner of this hour.
I am located between Fairview and Sydney.
Jen Peterson is the winner. And all right, awesome. Just gonna write it down because best not to trust my memory. All right, thank you so much. Yeah, when the first time, I don't know why my MapQuest did me dirty the first time I ever tried to find your place, but she's right between us in Sydney. Easy to find once you've been there once. So you guys, you really need to take her up on that offer. Now, and I forgot to warn you. So this is replay, right? So be specific. If somebody watches this 6 months from now on the replay and calls you up and says, Anne, you said that I could have a buy one, get 2 more free on that egg. Is that still an offer, or is that just for people who are on the live right now?
Well, I think that it should still be an offer, especially if it's a new person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to clarify because this is going to be evergreen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. And that's a great way to know who's watching it. I'm excited for that. We'll quantumly call them in 6 months from now, all those people who are going to be coming in for your special. And people, you do need to know that you don't have to be there. Remember, she said you could do that remotely. So don't feel like you're in a box or you're missing out because you can't physically drive to her house, right? So making sure that everybody got that part of the discussion.
Mike and I bought 4 remote sessions each from a gal in Canada who had an egg before I ever decided to purchase an egg. And the things that happened when I was laying on that bed during the session were just people come out of that egg, and to me, it's still like such a miracle of what they tell me happens. And it's like, wow,
Yeah. Yeah. And partly because they took the time to get still for that allotted time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they had intention behind it, just like you say. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right. Thank you so much. Yes. Have a good night.
Thanks.
All right, thanks everybody for who is still with us. I am next. So what I have brought up to talk about tonight hopefully isn't just too much Tanya rattling, but I don't have any slides or anything like that. I'm just going to talk about a stage of awakened wellness that I'm ready to develop a little bit further. I had been somewhat shy about kids, and I'm always going to be shy about pregnant people. That's never going to be my specialty. You're always going to get the CYA cover your ass answer from me about pregnancy is go talk to your doctor. That one I'm probably never going to be comfortable with, but I'm getting more comfortable with kids. And the reason that kids have been a little bit tough for me is because I wasn't here. I wasn't this version of Tanya when my kids were little. When my kids were little, they ate red hot dogs. They were on soy formula. I didn't breastfeed. They were fully vaccinated, so I didn't have my own kids to experiment on in this side of what I'm doing and how things are. So I just want to really be clear about that. I'm not an expert in this field. No matter what we do, we're practicing, right? So just like everyone, I'm not here because I'm doing everything right, but I am here and I'm studying more on the kids side, and I'm because I know that there's a need for it. With my grandkids, there's a little experimenting, but it's still different than the mom connection, right? I'm here. I've been on doing this and that and going through these stages of life long enough to know what doesn't work. I've stuck around long enough to get curious, to know that I need to keep learning. And like I say, I just was not always this wellness minded. This is new for me. I was awakened to wellness. I can kind of track it by Jen and Ryder's oldest, Scotty. And I guess that's kind of not in my notes, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell this story. I tell it a lot, so maybe you've heard it, maybe you haven't. But my awakening came kind of then. I was on it. What started me looking for different answers was my own pain. I had, well, kind of a combination of pain, body breakdown, dysfunction, those things in my 20s, 30s, between the being a single mom, being divorced, going back to college, working 2 jobs, that stress, I mean, we all have it. Mine isn't special. I had hiatal hernia, heartburn, always, just it's layers of things that we're breaking down. When we're looking for root causes, we have to go way back. We have to go back to stress. Then we have to go to genetics and all of those things, which it's just too long. You don't care, who cares of what it was or how I got there. But I knew I was riding a lot of horse, love just finding this newfound passion with riding horse because I hated my job as an RN. I had become a nurse because I really felt Holy Spirit called to it, but I never really liked it. It did take me to a place of financial security. It took me to a place of personal growth, going through college, all of those things. But I just I didn't really like it. The knowledge was great, kind of like knowledge is power kind of thing. But my own body, doing all this riding and doing all this horse stuff, in constant pain. I had herniated discs in my lower back and in my neck, and I was eating ibuprofen, probably around 800 milligrams twice a day for years, just to get by, and then had gut issues that I didn't even know were issues. I thought that's just how I was. But I had gotten to the point where I don't have much of a medical record, because even as a nurse, I just refuse to sit in waiting rooms and get diagnosed, like, because what's it gonna do, right? And so I knew I probably, if I went through all the testing and jibber jabber and this and that, would probably easily deserved a fibromyalgia diagnosis. I had all the pain points in my chest and above my hips, and I did have a scan about the herniated discs. That was for real, and I had an appointment with a surgeon and was just about there. I was just about to call it, and then I didn't, for whatever reason. And that was in the horse realm. They use a high power PEMF, so I didn't even try it. Like, this is true Tanya style. I didn't even try this energy, this machine. I just heard about it, and it really, the testimonies on horses were pretty wild. I didn't really hear too many people talking about it, but without even trying it, like, there was people in North Dakota. I could have went and booked an appointment with somebody's horse machine and tried it, but no, I didn't. I just I've got really good credit, so I had a no interest credit card, and I just bought a $20,000 PEMF machine with the equipment and the education to go with it. And then to justify this big expense to get the thing paid off, I started working a little bit on other people's animals, working on other people a little bit, and just using the thing myself. And that got me major pain relief. And now when I look back on that, I almost don't remember that phase of my life, or I almost don't remember how bad it was. So praise the Lord, right, that you don't remember these things. But that kind of got me to questioning more things, got me down, whether it was podcasts or what, got to wondering and getting sugar out of my life, getting inflammation down, just little things like that. First, I landed at a company called LifeVantage that has a really good product. I used that for a couple of years, and then just kept going. And then it was really Jen and her story that got my eyes really open to things that I never thought about. I had never even thought about. So as a nurse, and like, I don't feel like I need to like repent or ask for forgiveness for giving vaccines as a nurse. It was just part of the job. Like, I never considered myself a vaccine salesman. I didn't really talk to anybody about it. You just did what the doctor said was required at this visit. Not kids, usually flu shots, whatever. But I honestly did not have an opinion about it one way or the other. Like, hadn't given two craps about it. It was just something I didn't even think about. And later, it's hard to tell this timeline without skipping around. Later, I came to realize I myself was probably a little vaccine injured, because when I moved to Sydney, I was too busy, too discombobulated, couldn't find records, and going to work at the Sydney Health Center, I had to have vaccine records, blah, blah, blah. And this is how naive I was. I was like, I was too lazy to look for the records, so I just had them give them to me again. Like, whatever it was, they needed to check the dot and check the box to sign off so I could work there. I just had him give them to me again. And really, when I start to put the pieces together, well, my health definitely, my pain definitely didn't get better after that, right? So anyway, Jen is like, we're having a baby, and I think we're not going to vaccinate. So my first thought was, whoa, well, okay. Like, it didn't matter to me one way or another, but I did know that, like, I just felt like, okay, I'm going to have to help you, because working in the healthcare system, working in walk-in clinics, working in the hospitals, I know that even the nicest, cutest nurses say really nasty things about the anti-vaxxers in the break room. That's what I knew. And that's what I didn't want to happen. So I'm like, okay, I'll go to your appointments with you. Like, you're going to get bullied. You just tell me what this looks like and how I can help. So that led me to going to I guess, kind of a rally education of sort. I don't know, whatever. I just saw it probably on Facebook and was like, all right, I need to know what these people are talking about that are politically motivated to stand up to vaccine mandates. So I went to this speech, and the keynote speaker, or whoever you say, was Dr. Patrick Flynn from the Wellness Way. And what this guy was saying, like, woo, like, that's why I was there. It was one of those situations where going to Bismarck at that time was not convenient. I did not want to go. I did not want to drive 4 hours. The timing was not very good, but I knew that there was something for me there, that there was a pivotal thing that wasn't just about supporting Jen. There was a pivotal thing. So when I got there, I was like, this is it. What this guy, and really, I mean, I don't really love that guy. He's kind of a male chauvinist, whatever. But what he was saying about your body and healing and hormones and all this stuff, I was like, yeah, this makes sense. This is what I've been thinking my whole life. This is why I wouldn't go on gabapentin for fibromyalgia, or live on muscle relaxers, or this or that or the other thing. So I knew at that moment in that presentation that this is the bus I was getting on. And it took some time. It took some classes. It took 18 months, 12 months to get like a certification and really the certification, I have the education. The certification is somewhat worthless because it's not, like a state certification. It's just Patrick Flynn's Wellness Way program, right? But that opened up so many doors for me. That's why I was training horses, because I was so mad at life. Like, not mad, like stuck. Like, I didn't want to learn about healthcare. I didn't want to do anything new. I didn't want to hear any new science, but I worked as a nurse because, one, I paid dearly for the education, and two, it was a good paycheck, right? But being stuck in that is yucky. Anybody who's stuck in a job that adds stress to your life at the end of the day, figure out how to get out of it. Figure out what you love. Figure out what you're passionate about and do it. So that things just kept blooming. I kept digging. I kept learning. And as timing would have it, it was right before COVID really got weird, really got, like, I worked at the jail and they were sending people home, like criminals home because of COVID. Like, it was kind of like I was really, my tail feathers were ruffled about other stuff and the politics of the jail and me being the only one that knew how to say no. So it was time to go. But I really liked my paycheck. And I'm a spring person. I make big decisions in the spring. So it must have been April or May. And anybody who knows my husband knows that if you look up laid back in the dictionary, you find his picture. And I was just, ugh, yeah, it was in such a yucky place with that job and putting up with, anyway, I just quit. I put in my resignation and I kind of accidentally didn't even give 2 weeks. Like, something had happened there that day. I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm done. So I'm a good wife, right? I didn't even really discuss it with my partner. And I come home and he's like, well, all right, we'll figure it out. And then in that season, it just happened to be that the kids, his kids that usually help him do the haying, were gone. They were in college. They were doing whatever going on with their life. So I got to learn how to run the baler that summer. And it was weird. It was really weird. But I just kept building Awaken Wellness. I kept getting more education. And I kept going down all these rabbit holes. So I really feel like my calling now is to help people to stay balanced with all this information, right? There's so much stuff that I know that I don't want to know. I have a pretty even-keeled personality and I don't get in fear about stuff. I don't get in anxiety about stuff. So this started out, I mean, I had notes and none of it had anything to do with this. But when I started out today thinking I'm ready to be a little bit braver with other people's kids, is faith in the process. I've spent the last, 6 years working on mostly adults, and I'm ready to say that I'm brave enough to help kids. And not only kids, but their moms, right? And so the kids that I do have in my life are awesome. And maybe I'll tell you one of the really confidence builders for me with this kid thing. It's really the moms. Is it ever the kid? It's really the moms. The kid is an extension of the mom. And we need to, us gray-haired people, me, everybody, we need to give back moms. We need to give back their permission to listen to their intuition, to know what their gut instinct is. They know. And when so many people, I don't know, or just you, if you're sitting in front of me, you know you better than anyone else. And I'm no miracle worker, but when you walk in as a new patient, I give you 2 hours of my time to tell me what's going on with you. And that is super sad in the medical realm. Everybody's in such a rush. And sometimes people feel better when they leave just because they got to say their piece. And that can be true whether you're an adult, whether you're female, or whether you're 5 and somebody's trying to hear what you're trying to communicate. So, and why I am a little bit more brave going into this next season, helping kids is, they're the same as adults, right? Their bodies were meant to heal and will heal under the right circumstances. When we remove what is not supposed to be there and when we replenish what's missing, it's the same. It's the same. I think the really hard thing about working with kids and helping kids is that you've got that kid barrier, and the only thing that they have control over in their life is what goes in their mouth and what comes out. And I really think of it like that horse catching energy, right? If you're not a horse person, you won't really fully understand what I mean, but it could be the horse, it could be the dog. When you go out to your horses and you're carrying a halter and you know that you plan on getting them a saddle on them, and you'd like to do that within 5 minutes. You wouldn't like to take an hour doing that. You'd like to get that done. So your horse, it's not the halter or the bucket. Well, they do like buckets, but they can tell your energy. If you're going out to visit them with a halter and the I'm gonna get you energy, they know that. They know that before you got before they could see you, they felt that energy bubble. The same if you've got the bucket, you're going out there to feed them, your energy is totally different. And that's, little kids are just as intuitive as that horse. They know when you put some weird tasting thing out of a dropper and in that thing, your energy changed because all of a sudden you had to get them with this tincture or with this medicine or whatever it is. They don't care what it is. They've never tasted it. They know mom's bubble just changed. They're like, I don't know who this is, but this ain't my mama. My mama don't act like that. So those things that we have to remember, the best way to get a kid to take whatever you want is to tell them they can't have it. Just, no, this is mom's, this is grown-up stuff. You can't have it. And because you relaxed, right? And when your kids have problems, like mom has a problem. When mom has a problem, the kids have a problem. If mom's sick, the kids are sick because she is their umbilical cord. It's still there. It's just invisible at this point, but it's still there. So the kids that I have worked with, so far, and I help everybody on any level with a completely non-judgmental, whether somebody has fully believes in you should have every vaccine, or someone who doesn't, or someone who's changed their mind in the middle. That is is not here nor there at Awaken Wellness. There is no judgment. There's no judgment whatsoever. We're all on this path, and we can only bite off what we can chew, one thing at a time. So I use bioenergetic scanning. It's kind of similar to some of the concepts that Anne was talking about. And my explanation, and I can do quantum or I can do in person, my explanation of that is it gives your body a chance to talk to me. So before you come in and see me, you fill out paperwork, you tell me about your symptoms, you tell me about your history, about what's going on. And so I kind of get to know you on paper before you come in. And then when you come in, I listen and you tell me with your words what is going on. And then with my bioenergetic scanner, I ask your body what it would like to tell me, what is going on. Now, sometimes these things match perfectly, and sometimes they don't match at all, and neither one is right or wrong. This is a tool that helps me get on a target instead of, just throwing darts at you. This helps me get on a target. This helps me look into what possible root problems we're dealing with, if what possible nutritional deficiencies we're dealing with, or if maybe we can just a subtle energy shift will make all the difference. Now, again, when it comes to kids, their belief system is not been tainted by life. It's not been tainted by adultness, by all of these things. So energy work works on kids way better, in my opinion, than it does on adults, because especially if they trust mom, they trust that mom brought them to see me for a reason. There's, if mom trusts them, I mean, whether they're ready to have a conversation or they're being shy or whatever, there's already that trust there. And usually we can find something that is agreeable, like, especially from an energetic standpoint. I've got a couple of different companies that I use, and they will have a little bit of that sweet kind of alcohol-y tincture taste, but not much, not much. We can get away with it. My energy, my system actually imprints, so I can imprint that balancing frequency into a pellet that is really, really easy to get a kid to take. And like Anne, sometimes I'm like, is this just too imaginary, this frequency stuff? So my easiest way when it comes to quantum physics, I don't know. I'm not going to stand here and use big words and pretend that I can explain quantum physics or quantum entanglement or prayer to you. Prayer is quantum physics, is quantum entanglement with the Most High. When you get a gut feeling about somebody, you pick up the phone, or somebody's on your heart all of a sudden, or your mind, you just say a prayer for them. That's quantum entanglement. Another way I usually explain it is like your radio station, or your radio, your fax machine, your cell phone. All these things are frequencies that, how does that work? I don't know. Especially a kid, I'll use your body is like, and they may or may not be old enough to know what the DJ booth is at the radio station, but there's somebody with a microphone in front of their face broadcasting music, broadcasting words out into the air, and somehow the device in my car is picking it up and interpreting that invisible signal, and I can audibly hear it. So that's what my system is how you explain it. Your body, whether you realize it or not, like, some people can tell where their bubble is, and they're really sensitive to other people's bubble, other people's auras, other people's frequencies. Other people are just oblivious. Why? I don't know. I don't know why people have taste buds that really work and other people taste nothing. I don't know. There's no answer for that. We don't need an answer for that. But anyway, your body's broadcasting, and quantumly, I know it's a lot to wrap your mind around. I do like, if I'm doing quantum, I do like somebody to send me a saliva sample that I can put on the machine to plug them in to get them closer to like connecting with that frequency. If you're in front of me, you're just gonna hold two copper little things and it'll make some annoying noise if I don't turn it down. But then it's just interpreting, like the radio, what your body is broadcasting. And then the computer software lets me know what it is, what it's saying. And I have to use a lot of my own reasoning. And like Anne was saying in her presentation, intention there. So my intention of me, my higher power, you know, I consider myself under the umbrella of the one and only true God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So that's the intention that I operate my software off of. And then my intention is I'm looking for problems. So that's how I read it. Now, somebody else who isn't me, who is different from me, could read that scan completely different. Like even with kids, gut work, we do a lot of gut work. I'm not afraid to poke a kid's finger. I don't like drawing their blood. Honestly, I don't think I've ever been brave enough or tried to grab a vein and draw blood from a kid. I'm not afraid to poke their finger. And we can do food allergy testing, which can give us so much insight. Everything that we do, especially with kids, is about gut health, and it is about detoxing. It is about their liver and how it's methylating, no different from adults. There's so many buzzwords, so much MTHFR talk and this and that and the other thing. When I'll tell you a little bit about one of my guys that's really given me a lot of encouragement. He's a little guy. I think he turned 5. I think he was 4 when he first saw me. He's only seen me a couple of times, and word of mouth. A good friend of mine, her and I go way back. She told this family, I think Tanya could help you. And that was her intuition. That was her being, her calling. You know what I mean? So that quantum entanglement. And this little guy, he just has a seizure disorder. And he's been to Mayo Clinic. He's been to everywhere. And mom feels like she is not being listened to. This kid has been tested up and down, in and out, for everything, and they cannot come up with a physical reason that he's having seizures all day, every day. Not a seizure, all day, every day. And they just dropped everything and drove up to see me, a 6-hour drive. And that was intimidating. I didn't know if I could help this kid. I just gonna do what I would do if anybody with whatever problem walks in my door. It's all the same. The body's the same. I don't honestly care what the problem is. Every problem is fixable, and you fix it the same way. Every problem is fixable, and you fix it the same way. I don't care if it's Lyme disease. I don't care what label your doctor put on it. You fix it the same way. You have to remove from the body what is not supposed to be in it. Period. So, honestly, my scanner didn't say much. I was kind of disappointed. The kid wasn't ready for much. So that the scanner, your body, will only tell me what you're ready for. And that's like the basic comprehensive scan. Now, I can scan deeper. I can go dig deeper. I can ask about the liver. I can ask about the brain. And I can force that information, and I can find it. But that doesn't mean that that's the first step. We all want this drive-through. We want better now. But healing is in layers. It's like a jawbreaker. You can't just go biting to the center of that and not expect to break your tooth, not expect bad things to happen. So honestly, when I think back on it, I did get some decent answers. That's not true. My scanner has every product on my shelf in it. And so it also helps me match products to the person. And it's like muscle testing, which I teach a lot of. I just assume that you come in and I teach you how to muscle test yourself and use that skill for life, then pay me every month to tell you what vitamin you should be taking. So we do a lot of self muscle testing. And anyway, so he did, if I remember right, we really needed some magnesium, we really needed the right B vitamins, we really needed the basics, the zinc, the selenium, the minerals. And then I've got a gal here that I partner with. She does cranial sacral. They saw her, and it took a bit. It took a bit. They got home, but we got. Let's say we. I mean, by prayer. Also, this kid has so many people in his prayer corner. You know, mom got some good attention from me, some good hugs. That hug when you're heart to heart, that frequency. I have a way of removing stuff just with that hug. Removing stuff. There was some mom guilt, some baggage that she didn't get to leave Awaken Wellness with. That stays behind. Yeah, there's that emotion. It's a big deal. It's a blessing, and it is, and it can be a burden. But I don't carry those things longer than for that instant. I'm not taking her burden with me. Where it goes, we do know. If you have faith, you know where it goes. But sometimes you need someone to help pull it. It's a weed, it's a root, and you have to have someone help pull it. So, yeah, anyway, I just need to let my energy shift for a while. And I assume, because I'm emotional, there was some of that root left behind, and she needs that hug again. So virtually, that's what my spirit's doing right now. If I'm this emotional, there's still a root left behind. She's still kind of having a hard time. So we'll go back there. We'll work on that. So anyway, he's doing pretty good. He's not seizure free. He had an episode where mom thought he caught a bug, but my gut says we were pushing too hard. I was pushing too hard. We were doing detox work. We had done a urine toxicity test, which you just have to pee in a cup. It's really easy to do. And this little guy who had been, well, and then just all the scans, all the medical exposure and all the head scans and all that CT dye. So there was that. Mom knew about vaccines. She had major guilt and shame about prenatal, some vaccines that she got while she was pregnant. That was really heavy on her heart. And when we got those results back, the heavy metals, the pile of heavy metals in a kid who's only been on the planet for 4 years was off the charts. Like all the way over on the red and maybe further. That was as far as the test went. Other things, just that we have in our terrain, mold and stuff, from the environment. But those heavy metals, and that's the kind of test that I don't have to really tell the parents or anybody the results too much, because they get on Google and it doesn't take them long to draw their own conclusions. But, and one, I can't even rattle off what those heavy metals were, but that was an effect, is seizures. So we're working layer by layer. Like I said, we're doing good, and his seizures had subsided. And she gave me a text and said that everybody caught a bug and he had gotten sick. And the seizures had come back, not like full on like they were all day, every day. But that was my cue. Then we needed to pull some of these things back. We had started some of the parasite work, and they assume that he's pooping good, and I'm like, well, it's not good enough. We're pushing too hard. And most of the time, I don't really believe people get sick. They're detoxing. Something's trying to get out of you. If you're puking, if you've got diarrhea, if you've got a rash, if you've got a fever, something's trying to get out of you. Your body's trying to push something out of you that you were recently exposed to. So we adjusted a few things and we pulled back, and I don't hear from them very often, at all. And then again, then I just ask a couple questions like, are you still doing this vitamin? And then again, poor mom is like, oh no, we missed 2 days. Is that why the seizures came back? I can't imagine what moms that know more, like these crunchy moms, I can't imagine when you know more, and then you're trying to protect your child from everything, from gluten to food dyes to Roundup to chemtrails to magnetic energy, and they're on the internet at school all day, and now you're thinking the Wi-Fi is killing them, and how easy it would be to get into this really, really fearful place and just out of balance and afraid of everything. And like, no, it's not your fault because you missed 3 doses. That is not your fault. We just need to pull back a little bit, open those drainage pathways again, get things going a little bit more. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. So maybe those things have been kind of what has been holding me back from really wanting to dive into helping kids more and helping peds more, is because there's so many more parties involved. If I'm working with an adult and I can't get them to be compliant, well, I can't get them to be compliant. But if you're working with a kid, it's not only the kid, but it's the parents got to be compliant too. And so that it's just another layer of complication. It's another layer. It feels like another layer of responsibility for me. So if you're a praying person, pray for me as I boldly feel like I'm ready to step into helping kids more and helping moms more. I guess I really feel passionate about. I hope in the future I have some partners at Awaken Wellness. I hope that there's a crunchy young mom out there who has done all this experimenting on her own kids, or pregnant moms that have experimented on themselves when they were pregnant, that are out there and who are being primed and ready to partner with me. So I have help. We're going to get busier. All of us practitioners here on the summit, with or without this summit, we're going to get busier because people are opening their minds. People are changing. People want different answers. People are tired of being told they're fine, that their labs are normal, but they feel like hell, And we need tools because we live in Roundup Valley. We live in Glyphosate Valley. We live in the oil field and the fracking, and we're happy for all of it. We embrace all of it, but we do need tools to help our body mitigate those toxins. We're not going to become protesters. We're not going to get rid of these things. So we just need to know that there's hope. We just need to know that we don't have to be afraid of these things. We can make different choices. We can pick organic whenever possible. We can buy our, I want us to build a community. If moms are out there making some extra cash canning or fermenting or making sourdough, and they're out there offering it for sale, buy it from them. Like myself, I don't like to cook. I have no desire to do any of that, but I could be a damn good customer. If you've got moms out there that are making $5 on a dozen eggs, buy it from them. It is one of my dreams for Awaken Wellness to be that connection point. I myself, I like to buy this stuff, but I do not like to run around town at specific times and pick stuff up. Like I just, it just will keep me from doing it. So Awaken Wellness is a great drop-off point. I've got a couple of customers that do the sourdough drop-off, and we are happy to be that for people. And selfishly, it gives people a reason to walk through the door and say hi, and there might be something else on Awaken Wellness shelf that they need. So this, I'm just, throw the camera on and start talking. Almost nothing that I said tonight was what I planned on saying, but that is, that's how I roll. I like to be inspired. I like to let the spirit guide me. And I too am desperately trying to plug back in to my intuition. I will say, and I'm gonna be really, really bold about this. If you don't know about parasites, if you don't know, if you've never done a parasite cleanse, oh my gosh, I could really get on my soapbox, but I've been talking for a long time. What time is it? I could really get on my soapbox. It's so trendy, parasite cleansing is, and it is so needed, but oh my goodness, it can make such a mess. It can make such a mess, especially a normal healthy person or even a kid. You can get away with doing a lot. But if a person who has got known chronic pain, known autoimmune disease, or a history of cancer, please get with someone like myself or Dr. Keller, or some of the other practitioners here, and don't haphazardly start doing a parasite cleanse. Now, I have got really good hybrid binders. Binders to me are like dusting your house. Binders, you don't have to do a parasite cleanse before you're on a binder. A binder is like dusting your house. That is like, it's just like lightly helping your body absorb toxins. But those work, one, when you're young and you're not sick, but two, as a follow-up program after you've done. For me, anybody who walks in my door, I would love to have them do a 120-day foundational detox and parasite cleanse. And it's so funny, one of the presenters that you haven't heard from yet, she's on here, I see her in the comments, she's like, oh, I see the sign in front of your sign that says parasite cleanse, and it just, what, like, it gives her the jeebies even thinking about it. I've never even thought of it that way. I've got it right in my yard, detox and parasite cleanse. Like, I mean, to me, it's just a way of life. Like, it's a spiritual thing. And, I lost a lot of my YouTube videos. They like what I have to say, but TikTok, you can find me on TikTok. You have to scroll way back to when I first got on there to see my disgusting poop videos. Like, I'm a nurse, I poop. Like, who wants to see what came out of my poop? Like, I've got the parasite videos, and I had done a lot of healing. I had spent a lot of money on Wellness Way supplements. I had done avoiding my food allergies for over a year, like with almost perfection. And I had made a lot of progress in my healing. I really had. But things really changed when I learned about getting parasites out of me. Like, I'm the person that's got a 3-foot ropeworm picture, like, and it's legit. You can tell that it's my bathroom in the picture. So when I really started getting parasites out of me, I was a born-again Christian, and these parasites, I will absolutely tell you, is a demonic manifestation. When they started coming out of me, I could feel the realm of sickness and death leaving my body. Now, to this day, I still can see parasites in the toilet. You do not change your train overnight. I'm a beef eater, I'm a meat eater, but eating a lot of meat makes you very acidic, and parasites love acid. Parasites also are very prevalent in animal tissue, and the normal human being does not have enough stomach acid. So on Tuesday, if you listen to my talk, I got on my bandwagon about stomach acid and proton pump inhibitors, so I'm not going to go back down there tonight. But I will tell you that I was on a proton pump inhibitor probably for 12 or 15 years. And they make you full of parasites. You have got to have stomach acid for the rest of your digestive system to work right. Fatty liver, insulin, hormone issues, you get rid of the parasites, you pull the toxins, and your body will just fix the rest of it. You don't need to go on HRT. You don't need to go on metformin. You don't need to go on all these other drugs, because when you pull those weeds, you were designed to heal. Your body will fix it. So again, thank you all. I've have closure problems, so I'm going to take 1 second. I'm going to look in the comments, and then I am going to say goodnight. Let's see. No comments, but there's 15 of you still here, and nobody has any comments after I rambled on forever. I will say that in the future, I'm gonna do a VIP family package where the kids scans will be unlimited. The package price includes the parents because you have to work on the adults. And then the kids scans are unlimited. You get a discount on any required supplements. And the parents or the kids can do ionic foot baths, kids can do red light, they can do PEMF. The package includes 2 monthly sessions for whoever in the family. I do ozone in ear treatments, like ozone for ear infections and things like that. That is unlimited and free in the package. So that's something that Awaken Wellness is going to be bringing in. I'm going to if you're still sitting with me, I'm going to quick do this drawing. And if you have any comments, you can quick do them. I'll look in a second. It takes a minute. Jeannie Gardner is the winner. Jeannie is not from here. Jeannie is a colleague of mine. So that's awesome. I will be definitely mailing her prize. Thank you everybody for being here. I really got long-winded. So sorry. Next time I'll keep it short, I promise. Thursday night and Friday night are going to be great. Same time, same place. Thank you.